Hi! I'm back, kind of. Not really. I don't know. I never post anything, so am I really back? I haven't posted a video in a very, very long time. I don't really post very often. I don't really have anything to post about. But I got a really cool microphone, so yeah, gonna be using that more. Might make some more videos with this. I don't know. We'll see. But one thing I've been wanting to do for a very long time is a bookshelf tour. I am so obsessed with them. I watch them all the time. I've probably seen like every single bookshelf tour on YouTube. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, even the ones that have like very little views on them. Like, I don't know. I just like, I guess I just like looking at people's collections. And I collect books too. So, like, as you can see, I have my bookshelves behind me. Just a small section of them. And I kind of want to go over everything. So, I kind of want to show all of my books, and I have like quite a collection that I'm really, really proud of. And it's honestly one of the things that I looked forward to the most when I had my own place, or I have my own place. And that was the first thing I wanted to do when I moved, was to set up my bookshelves. Like, that was like my big goal. And I've had them now, and I've arranged them in different ways. But this is the one way that I'm going to have it for a little bit while, until maybe I move out by the end of the year. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens, and then I'll probably do a new organization, and maybe I'll make a new video about that. Who knows? But I just wanted to show y'all my bookshelves as they are right now. So let me know what you think. Okay, this angle is like really, really high, so we're not going to stay here for very long. But I just wanted to show you the top of this shelf. Just because I have some of the things that I've made. I make dolls, which, I mean, I have it on my Instagram as well if you want to look at that. But, oh man, there's like dust. I have like my fairy doll, one of my fairy dolls that I made, and I also collect gnomes. This little gnome here, I actually made him, so he's made from like a little sock, and I called him my potatoes, mostly because he looks like a little bit of a potato head to me. And they're on top of the Fairyopolis book, which is just kind of like, man, I've had this book literally since I was like in middle school, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But I've had it for a while, and it's just kind of goes over like different types of fairy stuff. And then I have another doll that I made that's sort of like just an amalgamation of different things, but basically she's like my Libra doll. So this is the top of the first shelf. And then maybe we can kind of just scooch this down onto the actual shelf itself. So this is my kind of like fairy tale, but also like magic realism. I have two sections of magic realism because it's one of my favorite genres. I have this section which focuses mostly on just different like mostly fairies. As you can tell, I've got my little other flower fairy here, and then I have the one at the top as well. Yeah, so let's just kind of go through. I have these little matchbox. Oh my goodness. Oh, don't fall. Oh no, everything's destroyed. Everything's destroyed. It's okay. It's okay. She's fine. Oh, let me fix her. Jesus. Where'd the Mac? Oh, I dropped it. Okay. So, this is a matchbox that I got from one of my coworkers, and it's just really cute. I thought it fit the aesthetic, so it's kind of in the corner there. I've got a little mushroom that my niece Natalie gave me, and it's very sparkly and cute. And then I have some flowers in sort of like a bumblebee type of mold from my grandfather's funeral, so I kind of keep that there as like a little reminder of my grandpa. And then we have the books. We have A Million Junes, which I absolutely love. I don't actually, so disclaimer, I get a lot of my books used. So, if it says book of the month, I'm not I'm not subscribed to book of the month. I just get a lot of books that are used that happen to be from that. But we have this book. I'm not going to pull out all the books, mostly because I don't want to pull out this mess, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Gosh, I'm already messing up. So yes, A Million Junes by Emily Henry, which I love. It's so good. If you haven't read it, it's beautiful. Then we have The House in the Cerulean Sea. I love this book so much. It's so cute. It's so good. I need to read more of TJ Klune, to be honest. He's a really, really great author. I've got a couple of fairy reference books. So I haven't read this one yet, but I've looked at it a little bit. This next one, let me get this back in here. This next one, Fairies, Miss Legends. As you can see, I've kind of annotated it a little bit. I didn't get the whole way. I got like halfway. But yeah, this is probably the first book I've ever annotated. I don't really do it very often. Hardly ever. I think I only really have like 2 or 3 books that I've annotated. But yeah. Then we have a couple books by Holly Black. We have The Darkest Parts of the Forest, which is, I thought it was pretty good. It's not like my favorite, but yeah, it's good. Then we have The Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black, which is 3 books in one. I don't know if it says on here which ones they are. I think it's, oh gosh, I'm gonna get all the names messed up. I don't remember the first book. I remember the second book is Valiant, and the third one is called Ironside, but I cannot for the life of me remember the first book. But it's a trilogy. Oh goodness, can you stay up here, please? Thank you. I did not like the first book. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Didn't like the first book. The second one was the best in the series, in my opinion. I know a lot of people hate the second book, but it was my favorite. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, continuing on. Then we have like a bunch of these kind of old fairy tale books. We're not old, but they're folk tales that my grandmother got me. We've got the Scottish folk and fairy tales, the Viking folk and fairy tales, the Irish folk and fairy tales, and the Norse myth and legends books. Haven't had a chance to read them yet, but they seem very interesting. Underneath my flower fairy, we have, excuse you, stay, thank you. Underneath her, we have Wings by Aprilyn Pike, I think is her name. This is my favorite of the series. I got the rest of the books just because I wanted to have the complete set, but I read them. I didn't really care for them as much. The Wings one is my absolute favorite, and it's kind of what these 2 fairy dolls are based off of. Then we have The Language of Flowers, which I'm not going to pull out just because you have to like slide it out of this case, but it just kind of goes over like basically like the meanings of different flowers. We have Wild Beauty by, I actually don't know, Anna Marie McLemore. I don't know. I haven't really read this book, to be honest. I got like a little bit in and then I didn't finish. We have All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater, Garden Spells, and then we also have First Frost, which both of these books are by Sarah Addison Allen. I have another book by Sarah Addison Allen that I haven't read yet, but I absolutely loved this duology. I am going to scream. You need to stay, okay? Stop it. Okay. Then we have The Night of Cake and Puppets by Lani Taylor. I don't know how to say her name. I apologize. I don't know anyone. I haven't read the series that this is based off of Daughter, Smoke and Bone trilogy. But I got the book because I thought it was really cute, and I liked the story. It was pretty good. I don't know if I'll actually read the series, though, because it doesn't really seem like my thing. But yeah, this is the first shelf on the first set of bookshelves. And now let's go down. So this is the first part of my contemporary shelves. So this has a lot of different contemporary type of books. I kind of have them organized, but not really. Like this one has like a lot of different mental health, but some of it's also just like matched up. And then the book at the top here, I'll kind of talk about. It does not match with these at all. So just kind of, I'll get into it. But I have like a candle right here just cause, and then I have my little book gnome. I have a lot of gnomes. I collect them. I love them. They're cute. And then I have my little Hyewon. Oh gosh, I probably totally said his name wrong. Blech. I'm so tongue-tied, guys. I'm so sorry. From Monster X. I like him, and he fits with the aesthetic. And also, he kind of matches my little bracelet that a friend of mine made. Let me see if I can kind of show it. It says "For Town Forever." I don't know if you can see it. It's probably like, there you go. Kind of. For Town Forever. But yeah. We have Frederick Bachman. Oh, well, first we have this one book, How Not to Die Alone by Richard Roper, which it was okay. It wasn't bad, wasn't good. I mean, it was okay. Then we have the Frederick Bachman section. We have Anxious People. Britt Marie Was Here. Beartown, all by Frederick Bachman. Beartown was the first book that I've read of his. Then I read Britt Marie. I didn't like it as much as Beartown. And then I read Anxious People, and it's probably, I don't know if it's my favorite of the three. I really liked Beartown the most, but I think Anxious People had the best plot. Then we have Thanks for the Trouble by Tommy Wallach. It's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini, who I think wrote the book for Be More Chill, which became the musical, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. I'm just going to pull it out a little bit. I might not pull all of these out, guys. Then we have two of my absolute favorite books by Nick Hornbury. We have About a Boy and A Long Way Down. These are definitely some of my favorites. I've reread them countless times. I love them. They're really great. And then let me get these back in here. We have, let me move this. I'm just trying to fix these a little bit. We have Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. And then we kind of get into my John Green collection. We have Turtles All the Way Down, The Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, An Abundance of Catherines, Will Grayson, Looking for Alaska. I've got all of these. These two are actually autographed, so signed copies. Yeah, so I've got a couple signed John Green books, and I also have, later on you'll see a signed Hank Green book as well. Oh man, did I have any other autographed books on the first shelf? I don't think I had any on the first shelf. I have quite a few signed books, so we'll go through those. But yeah, we've got John Green. We've got We All Looked Up, which I have not finished. I got like halfway and then just never finished it. We have We Were Liars, which was really, really good. I've reread it recently, still really like it. We have Let's Call It a Doomsday, Katie Henry. So good. Literally so good. I love that book. And another book by her called Heretics Anonymous, which I don't like as much as Let's Call It a Doomsday, but I haven't read it in a long time, so I don't remember, honestly. Then we have The Next Queen of Heaven by Gregory Maguire. He wrote Wicked, which is one of my favorite books, and I also have it somewhere on the shelves as well that you'll see. This book was okay. Half of it I really, really loved, and the other half I was just like, okay, I don't know. Then we have Violent Ends, which is also a pretty interesting book. It's about, it's told in different perspectives of school shooting, so it's pretty interesting. And that is my first, oh, yeah, I forgot. I have this book, which I actually bookbound, and it's a fan fiction, and it kind of matches more into the magic realism, so I gotta find a place to put it. I just now finished it like a few days ago, so I don't really have a place for it yet, but yeah, I made the cover, I made all of it, and it's just kind of sitting here right now, so we'll find a place for it eventually. But yeah, that's the shelf. So this is the second half of my contemporary shelf. Again, I have it kind of organized, but not really. It's kind of like romance bleeding into friendship, bleeding into family. But just to kind of go over some stuff, I've got this little mug of Labyrinth, and I've got different pictures and knickknacks, several bookmarks that my friend made for me, just kind of in here. And I've got some more stuff in here as well, just little reminders. And then for the books, we have this book, which is another book that I bound, and it's a fanfic as well. This was my very first book that I bookbound. I made 2 of these, one for me and one for a friend. And yeah, it's a really good book, really good fanfic, I guess I should say. And I'm pretty proud with how it looked out. Then we have some more romance underneath. We have, oh, actually, let me put that aside because we have Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I love. But then underneath that, we have Frankly in Love, and it's a signed copy. So as you can see, I also love the sprayed edges, and the inside of it is really nice. But yeah, we have a signed copy, so that's my 3rd signed copy so far. I think I have 6 signed copy books, or 7, I can't remember. But yeah, we've got these are kind of like romance, and then underneath that is Radio Silence, which is more of a friendship type of book. Then we have I Hate Everything by You. Then we have the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants set. We have the first of the 4 books. They wrote a 5th one, but I haven't gotten it yet. Obviously my favorite is the first one, but the other ones are also really good. Then we have what I call the TTYL series, which is, these are really old. As you can see, they've been faded from being in the sunlight and stuff. I've had all these books since like high school era. This one too, actually. Lessons from a Dead Girl, which is actually kind of a really toxic friendship. But it's in here. Then we have 5 Feet Apart, which honestly I probably should put with the romance, but I don't know why I stuck it in here. I want to pull it out because it's got a really pretty cover. I know people have probably already seen it, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Get out of here. Okay. I love this cover. It's so pretty. One day, I think I had it displayed the last time I had done my shelves, but I ended up not displaying it this time, even though it's one of my absolute faves. Anyway, we have Highly Illogical Behavior, which is another book I absolutely love. It's so good. It's so fun. The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Made You Up, which is another really good book. It's really torn up, but I actually just bought this book used, so that's why it's like that. I didn't tear it up. I love this book. It's so good. I don't really know what to say, honestly. I like these books. You should read these books. But you should, because they're really, really good. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to put the microphone down. I feel like I'm kind of very particular about my shelves. I want them all to be like the same distance. The last 2 books we have The Weird Sisters, which, funny enough, when I first read that book, I didn't like it, and then I reread it, and I loved it. So, sometimes it's just the mood you're in. Then we have A Light Too Bright, which is also really, really good, and the author is like a musician as well. So I looked up his music, and it's really good too. So, yeah, that is my second contemporary bookshelf for the shelves, and that's it. That's the last of the contemporary. Everything else will be different genres. So a lot of people typically have like a lot of fantasy shelves, and this is kind of why I wanted to do this bookshelf tour, because this is my fantasy shelf, which is literally only half a shelf. Like, okay, so I have my Magic Realism books, but I don't have like a whole lot of high fantasy books. So this is really pretty much it. And I just think it's interesting because so many people love fantasy, high fantasy, and sci-fi, and it's not really a big part of my collection. We have the Six of Crow duology with Crooked Kingdom. I've got those 2 books. Then we have King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, which is also in the same Grishaverse. set. I don't have the first 3 books of the whole thing. I've never read Shadow and Bone and all of that. I don't really plan on reading them. They're just not my cup of tea. But I loved the Six of Crows duology. Actually, ironically, I didn't really like it the first time I read it. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like a huge thing for me. But I really, really love it now, so I'm like obsessed. And then we have Gilded Wolves, which wasn't bad, but it took me forever to read, and I don't think I'm going to finish the series. Then we have The Lies of Locke Lamore, which again was not bad. I actually really enjoyed The Lies of Locke Lamore, but I don't know if I'll finish the series. It's just a lot. I think it's just really hard for me to get into high fantasy books in general. And then that's literally all of my high fantasy, and then it immediately goes into historical fiction. So then we have The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which, again, I don't know if it was really my thing, but it was okay. It was fun. I feel like I'm just like downing a lot of these books, go like, yeah, I don't really like them, but I like a lot of my books. I like a lot of them. We have Go Ask Alice, which is a really old book that I had when I was like back in high school or something. We have The Music Shop, which I liked it up until the very ending. And then we have my Daisy Jones, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Malibu Rising. My Taylor Jenkins Reid section. Daisy Jones and the Six is literally my favorite of the 3. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is my second, but as you can see, Daisy Jones and the Six. Kind of hiding in the corner here is my Lamb, The Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal by Christopher Moore. This is the special edition, so it's made to look like a Bible, kind of. It's got like the nice glowy edges. So yeah, I really like the design on this one. And the book's pretty good too. I like Christopher Moore. If you want to check him out, I have some other books by him in other sections of the bookshelves you'll see. But yeah, that's this shelf. Oh, and this little car that I've had since I was 16, because I always wanted a buggy when I was young. And my mom got me for my birthday to kind of be like, oh, here's your dream car. But yeah, that's this shelf. The angle's a little weird on this one. Oop, I bumped the tripod. This is a mix of like my sci-fi and dystopian type of thing. I feel like most dystopians are sci-fi, so I kind of lumped them all together. We have my little, my centaur doll lady that I made. She doesn't really match the vibes, but I had too many things on my magic shelves, you'll see. So I kind of put her there for now. We have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. So this one is also signed. Let me see if I can open it. So this is the 4th signed book, I believe. Yes. Yeah, so we have this one signed as well. Then we have They Both Die at the End, which literally made me cry. Upsetting, but it's good. It's really good. Then we have The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. We have The Giver, which is one of my favorite books of all time. I read it when I was like in middle school, and I love it. I wish I had the second book of this series called Gathering Blue. I'm sorry, I just realized I haven't picked up the microphone. I wish I had the second book in this series, Gathering Blue, because it's probably one of my favorites of the series. I mean, this one is definitely the top, but then that would be like second. And then I have Messenger as well, which is part of that series as well. And then I have Hunger Games Catching Fire. The reason I only have this book is because it's my favorite of the trilogy, and when I read them, I had borrowed them from somebody, so I ended up just buying this one. Or I think my grandma actually got me this. So yeah, that's why I have this one, because it's my favorite. And then I have 2 books by Jason Pargin. It says David Wong on him, but that was like a name he used to do. Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits, and then Zoe Punches the Future in the Dick. And he's supposed to be coming out with a third version at some point, or a third book, I should say, at some point, but I don't think it's coming out this year. I think it's next year. I don't remember. But anyway, then we go into this section, which is sort of my Firefly section, and then I have the disasters kind of in the middle because it kind of fits the Firefly aesthetic in my mind, and it just is like a really nice pop of color. But I have these 4 different books of Firefly. I'll be honest, they're not my favorite. I don't really care for them that much, but I like them all together, so I kept them. And then on the bottom of these, we have the Firefly Legacy, which is all the comic books, and at the very, very bottom, we have Firefly A Celebration, which has not only all of the scripts, but it has a lot of the film and behind-the-scenes stuff, and it kind of bleeds into the next part. So this is the first shelf, the entire first shelf, top to bottom. The next one will start at the very top of the second shelf. Hey, it's editing, Amanda. I was looking through the footage and I realized that I lost the footage of the top of the second shelf. So I'm just going to show it right here, right now. There it is. It's just 3 little gnomes riding a broomstick and a little bird next to them that's also dressed like a gnome. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Moving on. Oh my goodness, guys. I just recorded this entire shelf and I realized the camera wasn't on. Okay, round 2. Let's do this again. This is, oh my god, everything is a mess, guys. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, here we are. This is my film bookshelf. So I'm a filmmaker and I do a lot of different behind the scenes stuff. I do acting and filmmaking, all different types of things. And I just have a lot of books on it, either from school or my own personal collection. And I just have this wonderful shelf. This is the nonfiction. I have one other nonfiction shelf that you'll see later. But this is the beginning of the shelf. And we have just different books. We have my ticket purse right here, which has some movie tickets in it. 501 movie stars, which just kind of goes over different celebrities. We have props and costumes for cosplay, but also just like for props. We have film directing and fundamentals, which is a textbook that I got for school. We have like an Indiana Jones magazine down here. We have the visual history world mythology, which I also got for school for one of my media and myth classes. Then we have some plays. A couple of these I was in, The Crucible, and then The Outsiders, which was like way back in high school. And then this, I wasn't in this one, but I had to get it for school, Long Journeys into Night. That I read that play. And then I have some acting books right here. I'll Be in My Trailer, The Actor's Life by Jenna Fisher, which is honestly one of the best books that I've read. Well, I say that and I've only read like half of it, but it's really good. It's really helped me a lot with acting stuff. And then we have How to Stop Acting, which I haven't read yet. This is kind of like a newer book that I got at a used bookstore that I need to read. Then we have the Practical Handbook for the Actor as well. And then we have probably the coolest thing that I own ever in my life. We have a book that I'm actually not only in, but it was a film that I worked on. It's Role Model, and this is the Production Diaries book. And it's not only signed, but it's personalized to me. So this is the fifth book that I have autographed. But yeah, it's got like little notes to me, and I'm in the book as well. Like there's pictures of me, and some of these pictures I actually took. Like I took that picture. But yeah, this is probably one of the coolest things that I own, and it's honestly so surreal to have, because I love reading about behind the scenes stuff, and to be in one of those types of books is just mind-boggling to me. Then we have 8 Days in the Woods, which is a book about the Blair Witch Project, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love the second one as well. But yes, that kind of goes over the making of that book. And then we have one of my biggest books, probably. So Say We All, the complete, uncensored, unauthorized oral history of Battlestar Galactica. I have read this entire book. I also read the entire of the 8 Days in the Woods as well, but this entire book I have read. I've read this entire oral history of Buffy and Angel, and I'm obsessed with both of them, but I'm so obsessed with Battlestar Galactica, and you'll see I have more Battlestar Galactica. We have As If, the oral history of Clueless, which I also read, and it's great. I love all of these books. These are probably some of my favorite film books. And then we have House and Philosophy, and then we have 2 Battlestar Galactica and philosophy books as well. And I haven't finished any of these, but I have read the majority of all of them. Probably like, I would say like maybe 70% of each of those. But I just kind of didn't finish them. But yeah, so that's my first nonfiction / film book shelf. And that's the top of the second shelf. So we'll go on to the next one. So this is actually not a bookshelf, obviously. These are my DVDs. I've recently started collecting more DVDs because I find them at used stores. So I just like want to collect them. But yeah, I'll kind of go over a little bit. We have right here a little tag for my dad who was in the Air Force. So a little thing from him. And then we have a Star Kid bracelet right here. And we have this little pin from a film festival horror sci-fi fantasy that my sister was actually in. So I kind of kept it just kind of as a memento. And it kind of fits with the aesthetic. So we have actually a video game first, which is Final Fantasy X and X2. 10, 10-2, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we have that one. I don't even have a PlayStation to play anymore, but I keep it because it's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. Then we have just different series. We have the complete series of Community, all 6 seasons. We have 3 seasons of Glee because I was obsessed with it when I was in high school. We have the 2nd season of Dead Like Me because I found it at a used bookstore for literally $3. And I was like, well, I have to have it because I love this show so much. And one day I'll get the 1st season. Then we have the collector's edition of Serenity. Again, I found it at a used store for really cheap. I don't have the complete series, but I like that one. It's the collector's edition. It was really nice. Then we have The Princess Bride, which is fun. We have About a Boy, which, again, I love the book. The movie's pretty good, but I think the book, obviously, is my favorite. Practical Magic, I actually like more than the book. So I have the book later, you'll see. But I grew up loving the movie, and I think it's still, after reading the book, is better than the actual book. Then we have some of my collection right here, which I love this movie so much. I'm a fan of Joe Keery, but also I'm just a huge fan of Spree, because of the editing, and it's so interesting how they do, like, the filmmaking. It's very reminiscent of a Blair Witch type of vibe, which I've already said is one of my favorite movies. So that's why I kind of keep it right here. And I also have Joe's 2nd album, Decide. I bought that, and I have it right here, just kind of together, because I didn't know where else to put it, honestly. Then we have my necklace, which, if you know Castle in the Sky, it's the necklace that she has, that she wears, that's kind of from Laputa. So Castle in the Sky is my favorite Studio Ghibli film of all time. A lot of people don't think about it, to be honest. It's so interesting hearing everyone's favorite Studio Ghibli film, because so many people have different answers. Not a single one of my friends have the exact same favorite Studio Ghibli film, but mine is Castle in the Sky, hands down the best. Then we have Kitty Grade, the complete series. We have Bakano, which I haven't watched. It's not the complete series, it's only like a first few episodes, but I've heard it's really good. And then we have some really old anime down here from like high school, middle school. We have Ultramaniac. Again, not the complete series, but we do have the complete series of Elemental Glade. I read the manga for this, and I didn't finish it, and I watched the first episode on the set and never watched any more. Like, I don't know why. I've just never sat down and watched it. Then we have Black Cat, which I have watched several times. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite animes. Not the favorite, but definitely up there. Then we have a bunch of music stuff. So we have A Knight's Tale, we have Spinal Tap, we have The Last 5 Years, we have Newsies, we have SpongeBob the Musical, and then we have a bunch of Star Kid. We have Starship, The Space Tour, Apocalyptor, which I actually went to, a very Star Kid reunion, and then we have Joe Moses, One Man Showmas. Then we have the Allie and AJ on the Ride, which I honestly have no idea. Oh my gosh, I got like something on here. I have no idea where I got this, to be perfectly honest. I think maybe it was given to me. I don't know, but I've had this for so long. But it's, I love Allie and AJ, so I'm glad I kept it. And then some kind of acoustic guitar thing, because I was trying to learn guitar at one point, and again, I have no idea where I got that even. Some of these things I literally am just like, how did they end up here? And then there's some things, like literally when I moved, that I had, and I know that I had, and I cannot for the life of me find them. Like some books that have just disappeared into the ether. So I don't know. It's very strange, and I just dropped something. So anyway, let's continue on. So this shelf right here, even though it's like super simple, there's not a lot going on, is probably one of my favorite shelves because it has so many books that I just absolutely love. I used to not be like a horror person, and like I still don't really classify myself as a horror person, but I've just really gotten into like, I guess what would be considered the dark comedy horror genre. But yeah, I have so many books. So this is the first part of the shelf. The second part is right below it. But yeah, so right here we have actually something that I literally just put on here a few days ago. It's Sungmin from Stray Kids, I think. Yeah. I had to think about it for a second. Sorry. Yeah. So I like him, and he's wearing like a spooky little skeleton, so he kind of matches the aesthetic. Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, which I have a couple more books by him right here. This was not my favorite of his books, to be honest, but I like it because it looks kind of like an IKEA book, which, I mean, is the point. It's supposed to be sort of like an IKEA looking thing going on. It's interesting. Ow. Literally hit my foot. Oh my god. Okay, sorry about that. I dropped a book and I literally hit my toe and it started bleeding, so I had to like cut the camera for a second. Oh my gosh, I didn't think this was gonna be like hurting me. Jesus. So we have Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I never finished the book. Sorry, I know. But I watched the series and it was really good. This book's really old. I've had this since like high school. Hunting Ground. It's part of a series, but it's basically werewolves. I'm a werewolf girl. I can't help it. Gil's Off-Right Diner, which is really funny and cool. Basically, it's about this vampire and werewolf who are sort of like not your typical werewolf and vampire, basically. And they're friends, and then they have to stop the apocalypse. So it's really cool. Then we have a couple more by Grady Hendrix. We have My Best Friend's Exorcism, which I love the cover. But the book was just okay in my mind. But the cover is really nice, so I like it. And the back too. It basically, obviously, is supposed to look like a VHS tape, which I think is cool. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which is super fun. Very dark. Listen, when I first got this book, I thought it was supposed to be kind of like, I mean, it's described literally kind of like a Buffy similar vibe. It's not. I'm just going to say that. It's not. I'm not trying to spoil or anything. No spoils here. I'm just trying to pre-warn people because it was not what it was said it was supposed to be. I still love the book. I think it's really good. But it is not that, like, lighthearted, I would say. Then we have Night Bitch, which is another good book. I really enjoyed it. Then we have, okay, so this is the reason these shelves are my favorite, because we have two series that are my all-time favorite series. I have probably reread these books a lot. I don't even know. I know I've reread these books in particular a few times. But we have all 4 of the Tales from the Gas Station by Jack Townsend, which I think originated as like an online, I don't know if it was a creepypasta or if it was just something that someone was writing online and then ended up publishing on their own. But we have all 4 volumes. I don't think he's going to make a 5th one. This one just came out like last year, I think. But yeah, we have all 4 volumes and I absolutely love them. If you like really weird monsters, but also like, it's so hard to explain because the series is just, the only way I can describe it is basically saying that it's like a mix of comedy and horror. There really is no other way to put it. And a lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue. Honestly, just go check it out because I can't even explain it and it's so good. And the reason I even got into these books was because of this series. So John dies at the end. The funny thing about this series is that I actually started with the 3rd book because I didn't know it was part of a series. But the first book, as you can tell, is a movie poster. And I had actually watched the movie like way before I ever read the book. And I read the 3rd book first, not knowing. And then when I found out it was a series, I found out about the first book and I was like, wait, I've seen this movie. So then I went back and I read the first 2 books. And then literally, I think last year, this one came out. So I waited like 3 years for this one. And I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if he's coming out with a 4th or 5th one, but I think he might be. But I hope he does because I really love the series and I love John and David. I really love them. The 3rd one is my absolute favorite. What the hell did I just read? Oh, I didn't even go through the titles. John dies at the end. This book is full of spiders. What the hell did I just read? And if this book exists, you're in the wrong universe. All by Jason Pargren, aka David Wong. He's also the one who wrote the Zoe Punches the Future in the Dick and futuristic violence and fancy suits sci-fi books that I had. So I like his books. I like his style. He's very, very good. But yeah, this is probably my favorite shelf just because it has so many books that I love on it. But yeah, we'll continue to the next part. Okay, so this is the second part of the horror comedy type of genre stuff. Some of these books aren't my favorites and some of them I downright do not like. We'll get into it. So we have Christopher Moore, A Dirty Job, which I love. It's so good. I really like his books. And then we have the second part, which is Secondhand Souls, another really, really good one. And then we have Meddling Kids, which I love the cover. I think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. The book itself is just, obviously it's kind of parodying Scooby-Doo, but I don't know. I didn't really care for the book as a whole. I don't know. But the cover is absolutely beautiful. I love the cover. And speaking of beautiful covers, we have the next book, A Cosmology of Monsters. This book started off so good and literally became one of the worst books I have ever read. And I'm not trying to spoil anything. If you like this book also, that's fine. I only kept this book because I like the cover. I think the cover is absolutely great. And also I just think it's so strange that the book to me started off so great and then ended it wasn't even the ending. It was halfway through the book was just so, oh my gosh. I could literally rant about that book for hours, but I will not. Then we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the trilogy. I loved these books as a kid, so I wanted to get the collection because I have no idea where in the world mine went. This is brand new that I literally just got a few weeks ago and finished Murder Your Employer, The McMaster's Guide to Homicide. It was pretty fun. It was pretty cute. We have Alice Isn't Dead. Then we have The Woman in the Library, which I didn't finish. I need to finish. maybe one day. It's kind of a murder mystery thing, and I sprayed the edges on this one as like a test for my other book that I bound, and I really like how it turned out. So there we go. And then we have one of my favorite books, and you'll see I have it fully annotated, and I have a book in there because I'm taking some notes on it. But I love this book, House of Leaves by Mark Z. Daniel Whiskey. I know a lot of people say that this book is like too much and like kind of really boring at times, but I love this book, and I'm so happy that I had a friend convince me to read it because it's absolutely amazing. And I might be a little bit obsessed, as you can see. I've annotated almost every single page. This is the most I've ever annotated a book, and probably the most I ever will, because it took me literally months to fully annotate it. I went down a really long rabbit hole, guys. And I've read it twice. I've read this book twice. And we'll probably reread it again at some point. We have one of my dolls that I made, and she's sitting on top of, oh my goodness, sit up. I need to find a better place for her, but she kind of is like really big. Then we have Interviews with Hideous Men by David Foster. I have not read it. I've read parts of it, and then I kind of put it on the shelf because I kind of just got bored, I guess. I don't know. And then underneath that, we have Kick-Ass 2, the comic book series. And that is this shelf, kind of a continuation of the previous shelf, but just not as put together, honestly. I need to find a better way to display some of these. But yeah, let's do the next one. This is a bunch of nonfiction stuff. So we have The Mystery of the Exploding Teeth, which is really fun mystery medical stuff. As you can see, I got like maybe halfway. Well, not even halfway. I think it's really fun and interesting, and maybe one day I will finish it. Then we have Just Babies, The Nature of Good and Evil, which I got for school for a class, I don't remember. And then some Supreme Court as well that I got for a class. I don't remember what that was for, actually, but I remember reading it and actually enjoying it. Then we have Help My Unbelief, which is about people doubting faith and stuff like that for religion, Christianity and specifically, and I got that book to kind of help me as well. And then we have some, oh goodness, get in there. Oh, the Little Book of Philosophy, which as you can see, I barely got into. At some point in my life, I was like really into philosophy, and then I just kind of got out of it like almost immediately. I still enjoy it. I want to go back and read things, but I just don't have the time. And then we have The Gift of Fear. Again, I have not read this book, but I want to read it so badly. It seems so interesting to me. And then we have 1,000 Dreams Interpreted. My cousin got me this book. And then we have some YouTube books. We have You're Never Weird on the Internet by Felicia Day. We have 2 Shane Dawson books, I Hate Myself, It Gets Worse. And then we have the autobiography of a Fat Bride, which I think I've read one for my mom, and then there was a second one, so I got the second one. This book's really good. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory. I read this entire book, and I'm just so fascinated by it. It kind of makes me want to work at a funeral home or a crematory or whatever. Like, it seems so interesting. This book is also by Renee Nickel, which she worked on Role Model, and this is my 6th, I don't remember how many, autographed book, and it's also personalized for me as well. She wrote me a little note and stuff, which I won't show, but yeah, it was just a really cool book about her brother, so that's really nice. And then we have Toil and Trouble, which is really fun autobiography about this guy who grew up kind of as a witch. And then we have Neil Patrick Harris, Choose Your Own Adventure. We have Esther Earl, This Star Won't Go Out. We have The Hidden Power of Fucking Up by the Try Guys. And then we have some poetry books. We have 2 by Gabby Hanna. Some classic stories right here. Oh, and then we have like this Dungeons and Dragons Song and Silence, because bards are one of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons class. This is the 3.5 edition, so it doesn't work for 5th edition, but I have it just to kind of have as a keepsake. And then we just have like a couple school yearbooks and then like a couple journals that I keep. And that's this shelf. It's my second nonfiction shelf. And yeah, moving on. So continuing on with the trend of gnomes, we have this little guy up here that my mom got me. He's so cute. I love him. And then we have a little mermaid right here that my niece painted when she was a little bit younger, but it's so pretty. I love it. And then we have one of my other dolls, which is a witchy doll, which fits the entire aesthetic that you'll see in a second. She's sitting on top of Twirl and Trouble, which is a short stories about, I didn't mean to knock the camera, which is short stories of a bunch of witches and stuff like that. And then you'll see on this shelf is my actual witch shelf. This has a lot of different witchy type style books or things that kind of fit into the witchy genre. We have a little wand here that I got from a vacation with my family. Then we have this really pretty planchette that a friend of mine made, and it's got a lot of little flowers and a butterfly in it. It's so pretty. I absolutely love it. Then we have The Astonishing Color of After, which is autographed. It is a signed edition, and it's got like a cute little drawing in it. So I bought this book used. So I don't know if the author wrote this or if it was just the previous owner that drew in this, but it's got like a really cute little drawing, and it's got like different writing on it. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I've gotten a couple used books that have been autographed, which has been absolutely crazy because I'm like, who would get rid of an autographed book? I don't know. I keep them even if I don't like the book. Then we have the Raven cycle. We have the Raven Boys, the Dream Thieves, Blue Lily, Lily Blue. I liked this series. It's by Maggie Stiefvater. Let me just show all of them. The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, the Raven King. And that is the complete set of that one. Then we have Slewfoot, which I have not read yet, but it looks very interesting. Then we have a witch journal, which kind of has different spells and stuff in it. We have the Hazelwood, which I didn't really care for, to be honest. It wasn't bad, but I liked it enough. It was okay. The cover is absolutely beautiful. Then we have The Secret History of Witches, which I have not read. I want to one day. Then we have Wicked, which is one of my favorite books. As you can see, it kind of got some damage in it, but it's literally one of my favorite. I used to read it or reread it every year. I don't anymore, mostly just because, I don't know, I just kind of fell out of it, but I do love it. I won't ever stop loving it. And I love the cover, too. This version is so nice to me. I like it more than the original cover. Then we have Son of a Witch, which I have also read. I've read it twice. I don't like it as much as the first one, but it's pretty good. And then we have A Lion Among Men, which I never read. I got like 2 chapters in and just kind of stopped. And they have a 4th book in the series, but I don't want to read it, obviously, until I read the 3rd one. Then we have Practical Magic. Woo! Stay right there. Woo! Oh my god, everything's falling. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. We have Practical Magic, which I've already said that I like the movie better than the book, but we have it. We have this book, The Rules of Magic, which is by Alice Hoffman as well. I liked this more than the Practical Magic book, but that was just me. Maybe that's just me. Moving on. We've got some manga. So this is the first shelf of my manga shelf. So hiding in the corner here, we have Haru Suzumiya, and I literally just broke her right on camera. Guys, this is way harder than it looks like when I watch other people do it. Now I know why people don't record bookshelf tours all the time. But I don't know. Is this entertaining? Because I always find a lot of entertainment in these. I'm just going to fix her later off screen. She's giving me some trouble. Okay, so I have not collected manga in a while. So a lot of these are old. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't have like a lot of new manga. But we'll just get into it. We've got a bunch of air gear. And it starts with 13 and ends with 26. The reason it starts with 13 is because I watched the anime. And this is kind of like cut off point of the anime. So then I just picked it up in the book. And then it got harder to collect the later ones. This is my favorite character though, Agito Akito. I love him, or them. And then I have Black Cat, which again I have the anime and I started reading the manga, but I didn't like it as much, so I just stopped collecting them. This is a new edition that I got from a friend. After School Charisma, I need to reread it and I need to find more, but it's about these like clones of like historical figures like Napoleon and just all different types of historical figures as clones. And Joan of Arc right here. Then we have Erased Volume 1 and 2, which I need to finish. I haven't watched the anime yet, but I hear it's really good and I need to watch it. Then we have some Fruits Basket right here that I've read the entire Fruits Basket and I've watched both animes in full. It's one of my absolute favorites of manga. It probably is my favorite manga. But I don't own it because my sister owned it and I read it all from her. So I have a couple volumes here. I don't know how in the world I got these volumes, to be perfectly honest. This volume was a gift that someone gave me because my favorite character is Yuki. He is my favorite. And I'm so happy that I have him and that I have his best friend. Oh, I love it. I love them. And I'm a big Yuki Machi shipper as well, so we have that. And then we have some collection books as well with stickers and stuff that I've never used, but I just have it there as like a collection. And that is the first manga shelf. Oh, I forgot to mention that this is like technically organized by like age order. So we have adult into like more high school. So like I would classify most of these as like adult or older teens, and then kind of more of a high school type of situation. And then as you get lower, it's going to get more and more younger as we go. Okay, so we have what I would classify, I guess, teenage into like maybe middle grade, the beginnings of middle grade, I guess. But yeah, we have the Ring trilogy, which we start with 0, which is the prequel. Then we have the first volume of The Ring, and then the second volume of The Ring. That movie scared me so bad, and the books also are very, very creepy. Very different from the movie as well, or at least the American version. I've never watched the actual Japanese Ring, so it could be the same. Then we have The Dreaming, which these used to be my sister's, and I think I stole them. I'm not even lying. I think I literally stole them. This is kind of like a creepy mystery type of series as well, and I don't know where it originated from. I don't know if it originated in Japan or if it originated somewhere else. I'd have to look that up. I actually don't know. But it's very creepy. I need to reread it because it's been forever. And then we have Pandora Hearts, which I never finished. And I know there's like, I think at least 15 volumes, if not 20. And as you can see, I have 1 through 7, but I don't have 6 because I thought I had 6 and I bought 7 and then I never had 6. So I have to go back and find it at some point in my life. I like the series. I just don't know if I'll ever actually finish it. Gunslinger Girl, which is the first 3 volumes. And I like the series. I just never bought any more. I don't know. A lot of these I kind of got into and then just never finished. I guess I just have problems finishing manga. This is Azumanga Daioh, though, and I have finished this because this is the complete collection and is one of my favorite mangas of all time. I reread it quite often, at least maybe once a year. So we have that. And then we have the beginning of my Dot Hack series. I was obsessed with Dot Hack when I was in middle school and high school. So this is kind of arranged in the timeline. We have the AI Buster, which happens before these 4 volumes, which is based off of the first 4 games. And then we have these 3 volumes, which take place after that one. And then I never got the ones after that, but I played the games after that, which is .hack GU. But yeah, that's this shelf. I don't really have much to talk about with the manga, to be honest, but we'll continue on. Okay, guys, we are almost done. We got 2 more shelves. So this is another manga shelf. This is kind of leaning to the younger teen, middle school age group. So we start with, well, first, let me say I've got this little gnome. I don't even know how many gnomes I have at this point, to be perfectly honest. And then I have other gnomes next to the bookshelves. So there's another gnome that someone got me. And then we have 2 of my dolls, which are based off of the Trolls. We have Poppy and Branch. I love them. These are not the first dolls I ever made, but very early dolls that I made. And you can kind of tell with the quality of his clothing and if you look at her eyes. But anyway, so we have the Ruby series. We have the first 3 volumes. I need to get the 4th one because Yang is my favorite character. And then we have the complete set of what I call plus anima. I don't know what it's supposed to be called, but it's got a little plus sign there. I'm not going to pull out all of these because it's just too much. These are pretty old. I've had them since, again, middle high school era. Underneath Troll and Poppy, I might actually take them down because this right here are my first mangas that I ever owned. I read manga before because my sister collected manga and she would read it, but this was my very first manga that I owned, and it was Magical Knight Rayearth. And if anyone's read the Magical Knight Rayearth series, it kind of plays off of a lot of tropes from other Clamp manga, which I didn't know because I didn't read manga a whole lot at the time. But I don't know, it holds a very special place in my heart. I absolutely love this series. And I have the first 3 volumes of the first series and then the second 3 of the rest. And then that's the end. I don't think they made any more after that. And then we have the complete series of Ultramaniac, which again, I have the anime. Well, I don't think I have the full set. I think it's just some episodes. But I have the full set of the manga, and it's a really cute, like, witch manga. Then this next part is Desert Coral, and I don't know if anyone has ever read this series. It was discontinued. They only made 3 volumes. 3. And I have 2. Because the 3rd one, as far as I know, was never published in America. I can't find it anywhere. The only version I can find on it is like a Japanese version, and then I think there might be like a German version. I literally have no idea. I'm so mad that this series got discontinued. And I'm so mad that I can't even get the 3rd book. I couldn't even find a translation of it online. Granted, it's been years now. I could maybe find it, but it's been so long. Literally, I've had these books for like at least 10 years. It's got to be longer than 10 years. Like, I've had them forever. But I love that series so much. And I'll never know how it ends. And then we have a couple more. We have My Dead Girlfriend, which I just have the first volume. And then we have just a little Pokemon book. A cute little Pokemon. And then that is this shelf. Kind of the younger middle grade section. And the very last shelf on the 3rd bookshelf is kind of a mix of some more manga with middle grade books. We have Kingdom Hearts right here. We have the complete series of the first game. We have Chain of Memories. We have the first 2 of Kingdom Hearts 2, which is my personal favorite of the series. And then I kind of just stopped collecting the manga because it was basically the same. And then we have Gifted, the complete series, which is kind of like basically about these kids with like different superpowers and stuff. Then we have a bunch of warriors. I was really into Warrior Cats. The funny thing is that I have the first series right here of all 6 books, and then I have some of the third, and then the complete of the fourth. But my favorite is the second one in between these two. The second series is my all-time favorite, but I read it when I was in school at the school library, so I don't own it. And like, I want to get it one day, but I also am like, should I buy 6 books that I've already read that I might not even reread? I don't know. And then we have some more Warriors books right here, which is like Cats of the Clans, Secrets of the Clans. I don't know if anyone's read Warriors. It's really interesting, actually. I really like the series. Even now, I think it's still pretty good. And then we have Cat Noir here that I made. I need to fix him. He's kind of a mess right now. Obviously, I put him with the cats. And then right behind him is the only other middle grade book I have, which is the Bully book. Let me see if I can pull it out, which I think is made by... Oh, it's Eric Con Gale. Oh, goodness. Oh, and now it's not going to fit. And there we go. That is the shelf. This is all of my middle grade, younger books. I don't have any other ones. And that is it, guys. That's all of my shelves. Oh, I forgot to show you guys the reason that I even have this curtain right here. I do a lot of like self-tape and stuff. This was my friend's idea. I can't take credit for it. But she told me, she was like, why don't you just like make a curtain? Because I have a very small studio apartment. And she was like, why don't you just make a curtain on your bookshelves for your self-tapes? So I made a bunch of hooks right here at the very top that you might have seen. And voila, perfect screen for self-taping. And you can hide all the books if I just want to hide them for whatever reason. I don't, because I like looking at them. But yeah, it's kind of like a really easy backdrop. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to show that to you guys too. Oh gosh, it got stuck. Okay. Let me see if I can hang it back. So that is my bookshelf tour. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I don't know, I like my bookshelves. I think they're really great. I want to keep my collection growing, but we'll see. I don't know. I have some books that I haven't read yet, that I haven't put on there yet, that I plan to read, but I'm kind of running out of space already. So I probably need to reorganize them soon, but I don't think I want to reorganize them until I like move again. So we'll see. Maybe I'll make another one. I don't know. But I wanted to do this because I thought it was fun. It looked like fun every single time I watched other people do it. And I love looking at other people's books and seeing what they think about certain books and stuff and seeing their collection. And I've been growing mine for a few years now, and I've just always wanted to do one of these videos. So here we are. We're here. We're doing it. But yeah, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.